Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and MSNBC's Joy Reid is, she's angry. Well, what else is new?
Oh, yeah, what now?
Her latest grievance is, it's an old one, but it persists. I would say the same thing in Chicago, especially with the leadership of Pritzker and BLM Brandon. The example provided in Evanston. Where are the checks, Joy Reid?
And to find out that literally Barack Obama's 2 terms as president are your reparations, and Juneteenth, which you already celebrated anyway, is your reparations, and yet you built this country. You literally physically built this country, and yet the attitude toward you from a lot of your peers and your fellow citizens is just shut up and be grateful. And it's infuriating.
She's infuriated over it. She's had a hard scrabble life. Her parents met in graduate school at the University of Iowa. Her dad was an engineer, her mom a college professor. She had to burden herself by going to Harvard before she made her way out into quote-unquote journalism and landed this cush 7-figure gig at MSNBC. Yeah. So you can understand why she wants her check and she wants it now.
She's a multimillionaire and she does not descend from a single American slave.
The movement is still afoot, though. There are various proposals for reparations. One that we mentioned last week is the Reconstruction Era Reparation Act Now, or ReRan, the handle, created in 2023, that would be last year, by Black Chicagoans. I'm reading from their website, ReRanForBlacks.com. Created in 2023 by Black Chicagoans because of losing their homes due to the increase of county and city property taxes. Yeah, somebody's been talking about that for 20 years. Oh, wait, that's me. Our solution is a demand that Black Chicagoans pay no property taxes as a part of reparations, just a part. Okay, well, let's hear the argument. Always want to hear the argument. The founder of ReRan, ReRanForBlacks.com is the website. He is Howard Ray. He joins us now. Howard, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Hello, Dan and Amy. Good morning to Chicago and Chicagoland areas. How you guys doing today?
Good. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. So, property taxes in Chicago and Cook County and the Collier counties in Illinois, between us and New Jersey, highest in the nation, not great, destroys home equity, basically a government taking of your home. But it's happening to everyone. Why should Black Chicagoans be the only ones exempt from property taxes?
Before I start, how did you guys hear about ReRan?
I've got a lot of birdies out there that feed me information about this and that. Somebody sent me a link to your website.
Okay. Well, good. The reason why we're saying Black Chicago only right now, again, is just a start, part of the reparations, because we're being affected tremendously. We're losing a lot of the Black culture in Chicago. A lot of the Blacks are moving out of Chicago because of crime and taxes. And a lot of the Blacks are moving to the red states or the southern states. And what we want to, we see the numbers, and so we see the corporate. So we're saying that by not paying property taxes, they'll be able to be saved. And also, we see that our taxes are demises. They're using our taxes to demise our community. Here, they're using our taxes to support and advocate for the illegal immigrants. But in the meantime, we're getting pushed out. And it goes back to slavery, the injustice that has been done to us as Black Americans over the years, from slavery to the Jim Crow, the lynching, redlining, just a numerous amount of things, incarceration due to marijuana. Just recently, the bill they just passed with no representation without population act, that was another thing that pushed us out of our community, or we didn't get money from the federal government because they were using that money to supply downstate towns with the prisoner population, using those numbers to help out those downstate resident townships that have prisons in their towns. So they use our people that were in Chicago that went to prison to get those numbers so they can get government funds.
Mr. Ray, have you met with any state lawmakers, legislators, or Mayor Brandon Johnson's office yet to discuss this and propose your idea?
Well, we sent emails out. We have met with some local aldermen. Yes, we have. To answer your question, we have.
Anybody signed on yet?
Yeah, what was their reaction? What did they say?
Well, they say, well, it's a good idea, but someone says it's a good idea, but no one has signed off on it or spoke publicly about it.
What's the qualification? Are you operating under the one drop rule for those who are who would be eligible?
So basically, if you for the last 100 years signed on the census saying that you are a Black American and you're a descendant of the slaves, you will qualify.
Okay, and so again, describing the plight of Black Americans in Chicagoland, why limit it to just Black Americans in Chicago? I mean, obviously, for example, the highest property tax rate as a percentage of home value in Cook County is actually Fort Heights, which is 99% Black. So why not include the south suburbs? Why not include all of Chicagoland? Why not include all of Illinois?
Well, it's a start, but Chicago is a big city, and Chicago, a lot of Blacks are moving to other counties, and we're trying to preserve the Blacks to stay here. And again, we don't want, our people to leave this city when we've been through a lot. We built this city. We have blood in this city, so we want to preserve, and we also want to entice people from Chicago Heights, from Los Angeles, from other places to come back to Chicago and enjoy this great city.
Are there any means testing to this? For example, it turns out that not all Black residents of Chicago are similarly situated. Melody Hobson or John Rogers Jr., they would have the property taxes on their multi-million-dollar mansions zeroed out just like a regular middle-income Black family would?
Well, if you're Black and you're the descendant of slaves, if you have $1 million property, or if you're a millionaire, you're in Chicago, you wouldn't have to pay property tax.
Okay, so the answer is yes. All right, so it was about 750,000 Black residents of Chicago, round numbers, which is down considerably, as you were sort of pointing out. It turns out Black residents, like white residents, like Asian residents, like Hispanic residents, they don't like crime and high taxes. Shocking. But they like politicians who continue to promote policies that involve high taxes and lawlessness. Strange. Anyway, 750,000. Let's say, to be generous, the average property tax bill is $10,000. Is that fair? Probably fair when you look at the high end as well as the low end. Even if it was $5,000, that would be what? $3.75 billion. So $10,000 would be about $7.5 billion. So that's what we're talking about, right? $4, $5, $6, $7, $8 billion in property tax relief just to Black residents of Chicago.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Okay.
where should that money come from? Should taxpayers, the white taxpayers, foot the bill for this?
Well, they will.
What do you suggest?
I mean, that's by definition.
Right.
White and Latino, and Asian, and everybody else.
Well, we have a formula. We don't want to disclose it as of right now, but we have a formula for what you're speaking about. But our formula, it won't take any away from the budget. It won't take any away from the other people that's living in Illinois. So we do have a formula, but we're going to hold off on that until we finish talking to all the elected officials that we need to talk to.
What about, have you talked to Chicago Teachers Union? Do you have any of the unions on board? Because if you have the unions on board, then you have the politicians they own,
No, we haven't talked to the unions or anybody like that, but we're in the process. Again, this is a new process that we're putting out, and our basic concern right now is to create awareness and get the demand, particularly from the Black Chicagoan. Once we get that demand and that support, then everything is gold. We're going to push on, and we're going to talk to the necessary people we have to talk to.
Well, what about, Father Flager or Reverend Jackson? Have you reached out to either of them?
No, we haven't. We haven't reached out to them. Again, our thing is to reach out to the people, because the people that are about to lose their taxes, the people who have lost their taxes, we're reaching out to those people, and we're reaching out to the community. And once we get the community where we want to get them, then we're going to reach out to everybody that you have in your mind right now that we should think to reach out to.
I mean, Brandon Johnson is a proponent of reparations. Stacey Davis Gates is a proponent of reparations, as I understand it. I would think that they would jump on the chance to champion this, right?
Yeah, I mean, anybody that has a reparation solution, we welcome it. I mean, this is a start, and we're looking for lots of ideas that come about.
What do you think about the politicians that are in charge that have put so many black families in the position you're describing, where they're losing their houses because of confiscatory property taxes, or they're leaving because of the combination of confiscatory taxes and violence in the communities and neighborhoods in which they live? I mean, how many generations of black representation do you need at the ward level, at the city level, at the county level, at the county state's attorney's level, before you start to say, maybe it's a policy perspective that is wrong rather than a personnel problem? We just need more black representatives. We just need more people who look like us. But if they don't think right, then I suppose nothing changes.
Well, if you see, you're going to start seeing billboards across the city, right? And on the billboard, it's stating that if the candidates aren't advocating for what we're advocating for, this should have been done a long time. We should not be voting for the same elected officials that has been putting us in this situation since the 60s, 70s, 80s, whatever, with the same philosophy. So yeah, they need to go, and we're gonna seek out new candidates. Candidates that's advocating for this policy, and we're going to get those people to vote this way. So that's what this election 2019, we're going to see a change. We're already working on candidates now.
What's your Howard Ray, founder of ReRanForBlacks.com? What's your background? Have you been involved in politics or policy fights before?
Yeah, I actually I founded West Humboldt Park Community Coalition, and we advocated for a CBA with Amazon here on the west side. So I've been involved with that fight because we're a big, our organization, a big advocate for the CBA to become a ordinance in Chicago. I actually at one time ran for alderman here on the west side. So I've been very involved with the community, and so my whole thing is to make this city a great city, regardless of what race is here, because everybody should enjoy this city. Nobody should be pushed out that's legal here. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask you. What about immigrants or illegals from Africa who've just come here that are staying on the south and west side? Can they be included on this?
This is only for people who are descendants of slavery here in the United States, Chicago Black Americans. Now, I will say this, across the world, slavery has went on in other countries, so those countries should be doing the same thing.
Yeah, sure. And in some cases, it still persists today, unfortunately, but okay. Howard Ray is the founder of ReRan, the website ReRanForBlacks.com. The proposal is to exempt black Chicagoans from paying property taxes. All right, Howard
And
Ray.
if I
Well,
could say-
oh, sure, go
if I
ahead.
could say one more thing before we get up.
Of course.
If anyone's listening who advocate, who understand what we're doing, please go to our website and sign the petition. And also, we're looking for volunteers. You can call us at 224-370-1242. Please call us. We need your help.
All right, we'll look forward to seeing how this proposal shakes out, and when you can get some people to publicly sign on rather than just privately express support.
Yeah, we're going to have a press conference in the near future, probably in the next week or two. I'll get back in touch with you because we're going to release, put a new billboard up on the west side and south side. So we're going to have a press conference to let people know.
I'll tell you what,
You should reach out to Willie Wilson.
Well, you should reach out to a yard sign vendor, get some regular yard signs built, because I think you can create momentum for this movement beyond the city proper. I mean, certainly we have the ability to distribute those signs in places like, the rich white suburbs like Glen Ellen and Hinsdale, Naperville. I mean, they'd be happy to put these signs next to their "Hate Has No Home Here" signs.
Okay, well,
expand it regionally.
Okay, I got your email. You got my email. Can you send me that, or we can talk?
Absolutely.
I really appreciate that. Okay.
Absolutely. I'll pitch in.
Okay.
Yeah, great. Howard Ray, founder of ReRan, ReRanForBlacks.com. Thanks, Howard. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hey, business owners, are you wondering how to grow your business?